Yo, I've been hearing a lot of talk around why people are not moving to Albuquerque, and the list that I found online, and I mean, there's tons of lists on why people are moving here, but really, this list, I just find it kind of comical, and I wanted to touch on it just a little bit. But before we actually go and do this list and talk about everything that some of these people may have wrong, I want to go for a little bit of a run, clear our mind, and make sure we get ready for this list. So hang tight. We'll be right back. Alrighty, guys, that was a good run. Now, really hopping into the conversation of this is why is anybody even thinking about moving down here to Albuquerque? And I got to shoot you guys straight. We have a ton of offer aside from the natural beauty, open spaces, and being the fifth largest state in the United States. We actually have a ton of growth that's been happening in the recent years. So I've made a list, right, to give you guys some of the information because the blog or the videos that I've been watching about why people aren't moving here are really off-putting, a little negative, and I want to make sure that I can shed some light to those things in spite of them kind of being misleading. So, I pulled some good information, some good data here, and we're going to go over that list here. But really, guys, I just want to thank you so much for stopping by the Living in Albuquerque channel. My name is Eli, and if this is your first time tuning in, do yourself a huge favor and hit that subscribe and notification bell down at the bottom. That way you guys never miss out on any videos because we are dropping videos every week talking about what our beautiful city of Albuquerque and other cities all around us have to offer. Now, aside from doing this, bringing a ton of great information and a ton of value, I am also a licensed broker here in the state of New Mexico, and me and my team would love to hop on a quick call with you guys to talk about all the different areas that you're thinking about moving to and give you guys some local details. So that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. Feel free to reach out. We'd love to hop on a quick call with you guys just to make sure you're making all the right decisions. But enough for me, let's get into today's video. Now, I really want to talk about the job market to start off this list because all these lists and all these people are talking that Albuquerque and New Mexico in general is one of the poorest states in the country. And, we are up there, but, to defend ourselves a little bit, we are also one of the more affordable ones. In most metro areas, you're looking at houses go for more than $500,000. Here within our metro area, you're looking at $350K. So to combat that offset of being poor, we're also way more affordable. Not only that, within the past 5 years alone, we've seen so much growth in tech. I mean, you got Facebook, Tesla, Amazon, all coming down here to land grab before everybody else decides to because there's so much availability and the price of the dirt here is just so affordable. I mean, Amazon bought out the mattress company and kicked them out, and now they're taking over. I mean, you see those vans everywhere, one day shipping, next day shipping. I mean, it's amazing. Not for me so much just because of how close I am to them. I'm usually one of the first people that get their packages and they're ringing my doorbell at 7 o'clock in the morning, which Amazon drivers, I like y'all do an amazing job, but stop ringing people's doorbells at 7 o'clock in the morning. You scare somebody. I promise you, I guarantee you. Now, aside from those places, you also got like the cannabis industry that is booming here. I mean, everybody's growing and doing their thing. The medical field, for one, is just booming here with UNMH just expanding and, into other cities and them growing their actual facility, going up and going out just because they have the space available, believe it or not, within where they're at. Aside from all that great medical stuff, everywhere you turn, everybody's hiring, and we're a big service-based state. So everybody is doing something labor intensive, working with their hands, or just learning a skill in a trade to be able to make money, and it's booming out here. I mean, all these older houses need renovations and need work, and people are getting hired left and right, and especially with like the medical field expanding. I know at UNMH, their new building, there's like over some 900 plus workers there with all the different contractors and people working on the building, which is crazy to me how much people are being employed by the hospital outside of doing medical stuff. So it's pretty freaking cool. Yep. I don't know what people are saying. People are saying that the economy here is just gone. Like it's non-existent. But the truth of the matter is, kind of tying back into the first topic, the economy here is still kind of moving up and up. Talk about the housing market. Anytime the interest rates drop, people are buying. It's like, I don't know where people have all this money from. It seems like New Mexicans just got smart within the past couple of years and started stacking their bread to make sure that they can afford opportunities like the ones that are coming up within this next year, because they're saying that interest rates are going to drop a few times this next year. And I'm already getting hit up by people asking me what they can do to prepare themselves. So I know that this next year is going to be busy. And now, aside from that, all my friends and family that own small businesses, they're doing actually pretty well for themselves. And I don't know if it's that offset of the cost of it still being very affordable here. I mean, for your all total in bills, I mean, you're talking about mortgage, gas, electric, groceries, and all that stuff. You can pay almost $3,000 a month in just those bills, which if you lived in California, you're paying only $3,000 for your rent. So I could imagine adding another $2,000, another grand or $2,000 on top of that in order to sustain your basic living. Here, that's really thriving. You're making $5,000 a month. You're really thriving. You're making a good living for yourself. So with that being said, the average that somebody makes here is around $50K. Some people make way more than that. Some people really get lucky enough that they actually, succeed. And here it's so supportive within the community that you will actually find that most of your friends are always supporting you, because I don't know, somewhere down the line between the past couple of years, I can speak for this personally, we just got tired of paying the big box stores for stuff that they never really cared about, right? Quality started getting low because they needed to keep their margins high, and a lot of these small vendors were willing to support and willing to keep up the economy, because the more we keep the dollars here, the more we grow, right? And that's all we want to do, is we want to see our city grow. So come and join us. Well, as you guys can see, right, when I was on the run, it wasn't even windy. It was beautiful. It was nice outside. That was one of the things that people brought up on this list, that it's just too windy. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, sometimes it does get a little windy, but maybe that's just a few days here and there out of the year. It's not going to stop you from living your life. Unless you're like me and you're suffering from allergies anytime the wind picks up because you have a dust allergy, then you're going to be fine, right? You're not going to totally stop your life just because there's a little bit of wind outside. When it's cold like this, yeah, maybe a 10-mile-per-hour wind could be terrible because the cold just cuts you. But it's not going to stop you from wanting to go out, have a good time, enjoy the day, get outside, because when the sun is outside, it kind of like offsets that. It's nice and warm, put on a, nice thin jacket, cover up in a beanie, or just completely just cover yourself up. You're gonna be fine, I promise you. Man, I gotta tell you, they complained about isolation on this list, and I feel like they're attacking me, because like I tell everybody, I'm an extrovert by trade, introverted naturally. So this whole isolation piece really bothered me a little bit, because I mean, just imagine this, right? You're getting up, you're in a frantic, and you're kind of freaking out, but you're really only 10, 20 minutes away from work. Most large cities are about 30 to 45. Yeah, maybe it's 10, 20 minutes offset, but it counts, right? It adds to that level of stress and anxiety that you're feeling because of us being, still so small. And when you drive outside of the city, you do experience some openness on the roads. It's actually pretty relaxing. When you're driving to Los Lunas or Santa Fe, and those are some of my favorite drives, because it's just like open terrain, mountain views. Heading to Los Lunas, if you go down 47, you can actually drive through all the little farms, like in Bosque Farms, Peralta, and all that stuff. So it's actually pretty relaxing. So maybe an isolation thing is good for somebody, especially if you're coming from a big city with all the high stress and anxiety of go, 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 that when you move down here, you feel like you could do that, right? Just breathe. I don't know. To me, personally, That's that's just, a big reason just to leave a big city because I want to breathe. Now, somebody along the internet said that we experience big droughts. I've never seen one personally. I feel like they over exaggerated this one for sure. Maybe in places like Bernardo, Belen, people think that just because the river's dried up or there's hardly any water running through it, that it's a drought. Truth of the matter is that Albuquerque, or New Mexico, has done such a good job at their whole aqueduct system, like underwater kind of thing, that the surface water on top of the Rio Grande, which we don't even own, right? Thanks to Texas, or thanks to whoever sold it to Texas, we really never run out of water. Like anywhere here in Albuquerque, I've never experienced that. Maybe, like I said, in Bernardo, and I'm sure you guys don't even know where that's at, but if you look it up, you're gonna look at it and say like, there's nothing out there, Eli. Well, duh, maybe that's why they ran out of water. Maybe they experienced a drought, and maybe that was just, 20 years ago. But needless to say, the technology and everything that we have nowadays here within the city or these other cities as well, is so good, right? Although I do gotta add a little bit of a caveat, there is some places where there isn't any water and you gotta transport water, but it's just because they haven't built the underground system to get it there. So some places in Rio Rancho that are super rural, you actually gotta carry water out there. There's even companies that'll bring it to you nowadays. So no lack of water here. Maybe in these other little towns that you probably never even heard of. I barely even heard of them just a couple of years ago. So don't feel bad. If you are planning on moving down here, you're still going to be able to water your garden. I don't recommend having any grass if you live on the west side, just because it's going to dry up, or if you do live closer to the river, maybe. But anywhere else, it's not going to last you. It's going to dry out just because it's so dry here that it's just going to be a job for you to maintain it. But outside of that, right, drinking water on the daily. You guys see this is a big old mason jar, and yes, I drink water out of a mason jar. Really, I drink a ton of water all day, every day. That's all I drink, right? Another water bottle here. It's filled up, ready to go for me. I'm just constantly drinking water. So there's tons of people out here like me that, we're not going to run out of water, or not anytime soon in our case, right? Maybe 100 years from now. But even then, right, technology is only going to continue to get better. Who said Albuquerque ranked last in education? I don't know what they're talking about. We got books everywhere around here. And the way that our city has really prided themselves to make sure that just the kiddos alone, have so much accessibility to free resources, libraries, all these different school programs within the community centers. There's just a ton of different things that they offer to kids in order for them to excel in their academics and want to continue to go to school, that when they go to college, UNM, CNM, you got Las Cruces, and the college out in Las Vegas, New Mexico, not Las Vegas, Nevada. People confuse it all the time, but Las Vegas, New Mexico, that is offering a ton of opportunities to kiddos. I know several people that went to all three of these places and have created amazing lives and careers for themselves. Now, me personally, I didn't go to college, so I really can't speak on that, but for the few people that I do know that got an opportunity to get a degree, and even master's degrees and PhDs even, they are amazing people, highly educated, people that I keep around me because honestly, I want to learn more. And, through self-education, through other people teaching me, the more that I know, the more that I grow. And I hope that, anybody that's watching this, you don't stray away from that. Yeah, grade school is a great thing, and the high schools and the middle schools and the elementary schools really have teachers that still care. I know for me, for one, my teachers really poured into me and really cared about my gifts and made sure that I exploited those to the fullest, whether it was through joining, different communities, getting involved in the school more, starting a rap group in high school, and we got to perform at the Outre Theater as well. So little things here and there that, without school, I would have never achieved these things. But looking back, I really took it for granted personally, and I wish I could have continued my education as an electronics engineer, but unfortunately, some of us don't get lucky enough to be able to afford those kinds of resources because they tell us that we can't go back because we can't afford it. Other than that, was hoping to excel, and then decided to fall back on my gift, which is serving you guys, right? So if you guys are thinking about moving down here still, you're not going to shy away from, hey, the education system is what the education system is. Plus, if you're somebody like me and you got your kiddos in a private homeschool, the public school system thing doesn't really matter. So to add a little bit of shade to the education system and a little bit of light of, your kiddos don't have to just go to the public schools here. You can actually homeschool them yourself or put them in a private homeschool like we did to make sure that they excel. So if you are still planning on moving down here, that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. If you're looking for the perfect school for your kiddo to go to based on the area or based on school ratings, I can show you all the different resources that we use here in order to direct our clients to those communities. All right, guys, now to really end this, I just want to touch on my final thoughts. And, I've been doing this whole thing where I write them down because I'm really practicing the fact that I need to put my thoughts onto paper, and in this case, electronically. That way I can express them and elaborate on them just a little bit better than just spitting it out and vomiting on you guys. So number one here is ABQ is growing with opportunities. They are just tremendously growing in the right direction that you might as well just come grab your piece of the pie while you can. And a lot of people are doing that, right? A lot of people are moving down here, giving us a call to make sure that, hey, I just got a job, right? We just got a call today from a gentleman that's moving from Virginia, asking us to help him because he got a job opportunity down here to do some amazing stuff with a great company. But other than that, guys, it's also one of the US's untapped markets. Still very affordable. I mean, we still sell houses under $200,000 or even $300,000 in some pretty great areas, right? Decent homes. Homes like mine where they're, 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,500 square feet. Those kinds of homes are still very practical here in the Southwest. Aside from houses, guys, the windy season and the weather here sometimes can suck. But I think that's anywhere. We're not dealing with anything crazy like Florida, hurricanes, high winds, stuff like that, or even like the West Coast with all the earthquakes. But we do have hot days, we do have cold days, we do have snow here and there, and sometimes it's windy and sometimes it's rainy. But hey, on those days, you can choose to whether stop your life or just hang out inside all day, right? It's better to have the choice and liberty to do so than to sit outside and be like, man, yeah, the streets are flooded, the houses are destroyed, and we ain't going anywhere today, or we have to evacuate and leave the house, right? Those kinds of things. We don't have to struggle and suffer through those, and we're one of the very few and lucky states that don't. That's definitely on my list, and one of the top priorities that I really want to hit on. And then we're not going to run out of water. Realistically, we're not. So we can just dead that. We can just dead that conversation. You can drink up all the water you want, water your grass all you want, fill up your pool like we did this year all the times you want. I do warn you that the water bill, it might be expensive, but other than that, guys, don't be afraid. We're not going to run out. And then education is everywhere for the kiddos. I mean, all these good after school programs, all these local programs, and like Warehouse 508 that has some awesome programs for the kiddos that teaches them how to break dance, skateboard, DJ, different things outside of the norm because, hey, not everybody wants to do clay pottery or draw sculptures, all that cool stuff for other kiddos. And some kiddos don't want to do team sports. Like me personally, I'm not a big team sports guy. Believe it or not, I don't watch any team sports because for me growing up, I was more into the self-accountability thing. I wanted to make sure that my success was solely predicated on what I did. So I know that if you got a kiddo like me, they're going to benefit from living down here. Albuquerque is just so awesome that I just love telling you guys so much about it. And I got to thank you guys again for sticking around this long. and watching these videos, because it means a whole lot to me and my team. And if you guys are thinking about moving down here, that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. I'd love to sit down on a call with you guys, pull up the map and look at all the different areas and really go over your wants and needs to make sure you're making the right decision. So feel free to hit us up. Let us know what time and day works best for you. That way we can get on that quick call. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoy your weekend. Have a good New Year's, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.